These are my 2026 MLB season predictions. I will go through every team in every division and tell you how it's going to line up. I'm going to tell you who makes the playoffs. I'm going to give you the playoff matchups, World Series champion. Also going to predict all the major awards, MVP, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year. If you like this kind of content, make sure you stick around. Click that subscribe button. It's one of my biggest videos of the year. Really do appreciate all the amazing support you guys show me. Drop a like on the video, and don't forget to let me know in the comment section down below who you think is going to win the World Series. So let's get going into it. I think I started in the National League last year, so let's go to the American League East to start. In 5th place in the AL East, I have the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay Rays have a lot of great players. Junior Caminero, Jonathan Aranda, Yandy Diaz, and even on the pitching side, the rotation is really good. Shane McClanahan's back. Ryan Pepio is a budding frontline starter. And the bullpen is solid with big arms like Griffin Jacks. But ultimately, the whole of this team is just not very strong. I don't think that this team is ready to compete right now. I would truthfully be shocked if they are a playoff contender. Of course, they're the Rays. They're still going to be right around 500. It's just that the American League East is absolutely loaded this year, and I just can't find a way that the Rays crack making it even close to the playoffs right now, so I have them in 5th place. In 4th place, I've got the Baltimore Orioles, and I had a really hard time with this one. I am hopeful that the Orioles will have a great season. I think Gunnar is going to have a huge bounce back. I think even a guy like Adley Rutschman is going to bounce back. I love the additions of Pete Alonso and Taylor Ward to that lineup. Add a little more pop from the right side. They have a lot of great young players that are going to step up this year. Guys like Samuel Basayo, hopefully Kobe Mayo, Dylan Beavers. On the pitching side, they improved. You got Kyle Bradish back from injury. Trevor Rogers looked great. And Shane Baz in a trade along with bringing in Chris Bassett for some just good oatmeal innings. But the bullpen is a mess. And we do know that bullpen's quite important. I don't think the Orioles are going to have a bad year. I just think, again, this division is so loaded, I can't put them ahead of the other 3 teams, which is why I have them in 4th. In 3rd place, shockingly, I have the New York Yankees. Similar reasons to the Baltimore Orioles in 4th, I just think that this division is so good. And I do think between 1st and 4th place, it is going to be a difference of like 5-6 games. And then I think the difference between 1st and 3rd place is going to be like 3. It's going to be incredibly tight. The Yankees are the best team on paper in this division. There is no doubt about it. Aaron Judge is one of the best players in baseball as long as you don't turn on the bright lights. Jazz Chisholm is a fantastic second baseman. Ben Rice is great at first base. They brought back Cody Bellinger and Trent Grisham, who I think are good players. The rotation is a little bit iffy, a lot riding on Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon coming back and being healthy and fully, honestly, just like fully back to themselves. Max Fried still awesome. I love Cam Schlittler, and the bullpen's loaded. I just think that in this division, there's a world where it's going to kind of cannibalize itself, but the Yankees are in 3rd place, very close to finishing in 1st. In 2nd place, again, finishing probably like a game or even tied with the 1st place team, I've got the Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays were amazing last year. I expect a slight bit of regression in the case that I don't think George Springer is going to be like the 3rd best hitter in Major League Baseball like he was last year. And I do think losing Bo Bichette is going to hurt this offense a little bit, but this team is still loaded. Alejandro Kirk's great behind the dish, Vlad Guerrero Jr. at first. Kazuma Okamoto is one of my favorite players to watch this season. I can't wait to see what David Popkins does to his swing in that lineup. You've got Dalton Varsho, my favorite center fielder in the league, taking a chance on Jesus Sanchez. Good defense up the middle. It's a very good baseball team. I have him finishing in 2nd. Because finishing in 1st, one of my favorite teams coming into this season is going to be the Boston Red Sox. Truthfully, I think it's just a complete baseball team. The starting rotation is arguably the best in Major League Baseball. You got the big dog at the front, Garrett Crochet. Behind him, you've got 35 different options. Sonny Gray, Johan Oviedo, Brian Bayo, Peyton Tolley, Connolly Early. I think I'm even forgetting like some good arms. I think Cutter Crawford will come back at some point. Patrick Sandoval. Oh yeah, forgot Ranger Suarez. He's in this rotation too. Rotation, arguably the best in baseball. Bullpen, I think it's underrated. I think it's like a top 10 bullpen in the league. A lot rides on Aroldis Chapman at 38, repeating what he did last year because he was unbelievable. But Greg Weisser, Garrett Whitlock, Justin Slayton, I like those arms a lot. Giovanni Moran, if you take some of those starters, put them in the pen, great. And then the lineup, while I think there could be some holes maybe at second base, I think they're going to play pretty good defense, especially out in the outfield. I think on the infield, they're going to hit enough where it's going to work. And I do expect some jump forwards for guys like Jarren Duran, I think is going to bounce back. Roman Anthony could be an MVP candidate, I think. He's that good. Wilson Contreras should be incredible at Fenway. I think he's going to have an awesome year. And even just seeing the growth and development of younger guys like Ceddanne Rafaela, Marcelo Meyer, even just the step forwards for Wilyer Abreu and Carlos Narvaez, who have been great already. I love this Red Sox roster. I think they are the best team in the American League East. They're winning the division, in my opinion. To the AL Central we go. In 5th place, unfortunately, it still is the Chicago White Sox. Some exciting players on this team, but they are still very much in their rebuild. A lot of what's going to happen this year is trying to figure out who are the dogs that you want to keep around on this roster moving forward. They brought in Munetaka Murakami. I love that addition. He should be fun to watch. Colson Montgomery was incredible in the small sample size we saw last year. They've got some fun arms in the rotation. I like Shane Smith. I like Sean Burke. And in the pen, they've got some electric arms. Sir Anthony Dominguez, Grant Taylor, Jordan Leisure. But this is just not a very good team still, so they're in last place. In fourth place, one of the weirdest teams in baseball, I've got the Minnesota Twins. They kept good players around, guys like Byron Buxton, Joe Ryan, but then didn't go out and bring in almost anybody of need or want, or try to make this team like any better. I don't think the Twins are going to like stink, but I definitely think they are going to stink, if that makes sense. The rotation has some fun arms. I'm excited to see what Taj Bradley, Simeon Wood Richardson, and Mick Abel can do in this rotation. The bullpen is putrid. It's really bad. And we're just expecting kind of a lot of things to go right. And they probably won't, because it is a baseball season. You can't just assume perfect. You can't assume the worst. If we're going 50th percentile, I just think they're the fourth best team in the division. Third place, Cleveland Guardians. They've got Devil Magic. They'll probably end up being close to winning the division. They somehow do it every single year. That being said, I don't have a lot of faith in this team. I never particularly do. They keep proving me wrong. But this lineup's really bad. I love J-Ram, one of the best players in all of baseball. Expecting a bounce back from Steven Kwan, but even then, what does that really look like? I like Kyle Manzardo. I like Chase DeLauder. Need those guys to be on the field more. Just doesn't feel like there's a lot of punch, a lot of oomph in this lineup. Rotation is sneaky, boring, but cool. Tanner Bybee, Gavin Williams, Ciccone, Joey Cantillo, Parker Messick, some of the other major leaguers that they have in the depth with a great bullpen. Like, it's completely middle of the pack, but with that bad offense, I just don't think that they have a chance this year to really compete in first, so I have them in third. In second place, I've got the Kansas City Royals, a team that I hope can surprise some people and really get close to winning the division, the AL Central this year. Love Bobby Witt Jr. He's a superstar. You saw how good he was in the World Baseball Classic. Same thing with his teammate Maikel Garcia. Same thing with his teammate Vinny Pasquantino. Same thing with his teammate Salvador Perez. Same thing with his teammate Jack Caglione. They had an awesome World Baseball Classic, the Royals. Now lock in, get ready for the season. You might have a Rookie of the Year in Carter Jensen. The starting rotation has a million arms. If Cole Reagans is healthy, they've got a shot at this AL Central crown. It's just kind of never has been. And the bullpen, and while I'm terrified about Carlos Estevez, the rest of the bullpen I think has pretty good arms to keep them competitive and be right in it all the way down to the end of the playoff race. Second place. Because coming in first, I think, honestly, unbelievably slept on. I've got the Detroit Tigers. I'm seeing some projection systems. I'm seeing some people talking about the Tigers. I don't think they're getting the respect that they deserve. This is a World Series contender right now. I absolutely love the way that this team is built. I love the move that they made this offseason, bringing in Framber Valdez to this rotation to go along with Tarek Skubal, Jack Flaherty, Justin Verlander, Casey Mize. They have some rotational depth as well down in the minors. They've dealt with a little bit of injuries, but I still think at some point we're going to see those guys like Troy Melton, hopefully, Cater Montero, Sawyer Gibson-Long, like Jackson Jobe will probably come back at some point. The bullpen, it might not be sexy, but I love the combination of Jansen, Will Vest, and Kyle Finnegan. I think they're really good. And this lineup, I think, is kind of slept on. There's just a world where Riley Green is a MVP candidate, especially if I think the Tigers are going to be as good as they can be. If he can cut down the strikeout rate just a little bit, if he can be like a 25% K rate guy, there's a chance he could hit like 35, 40 home runs. The power is that legit. Have like a 270 average and OPS in the high nines. Riley Green is awesome. I'm all in on Riley Green this year. Kevin McGonigal's incredible. Spencer Torkelson hits the ball well. Cole Keith, Gleyber Torres, Kerry Carpenter. I think this is a really well-balanced team and one of my favorites this year. That's why I have them winning the AL Central. Now let's head to the American League West. This is where I get a little bit weird, so bear with me. Last place, unfortunately for you Angels fans, yeah, it's the Angels. I think in this division, there's a very clear difference between the Angels and all the other teams. The Angels are getting better. They're doing things that I think is helping this organization improve, but until Artie Moreno sells the team, I just don't see any winning in their future. Love Zach Neto, love Mike Trout. That's about it from the lineup. I guess I like Christian Moore too. I don't think he's starting on the Major League roster, which is kind of insane. I don't know why. That's crazy. They sent him to the minors. Yeah, like this is why the Angels, I hate them. This is why I can't root for these guys. Their starting rotation, I think, is pretty putrid. Their bullpen's actually not horrible. I kind of like their bullpen. Keep an eye out on Walbert Urania. That's my breakout pick for them this year. I guess he's a rookie, so just keep an eye out for him. But yeah, this team stinks. Last place. Fourth place. I'm going with the Texas Rangers. I don't feel good about it, but they got no sauce. They got no juice. And I don't think this team is particularly good. Listen, I love Jacob deGrom as much as the next guy, but it's scary to see that he was so healthy last year for a guy who's historically never been healthy. Nathan Eovaldi, another guy, not particularly the healthiest pitcher. Those are the two big heads at the front of this rotation, 36 and 38 years old. Mackenzie Gore should be better, but we still need to see it. And then Jack Leiter and Kumar Rocker, like, they're still a little bit unknown. I hope they take a step forward. If there's an injury, if there's anything wrong, this rotation becomes really bad. The bullpen is one of the worst in all of Major League Baseball. Chris Martin's great. Robert Garcia's got nice stuff. Rest of it's bad. And I think the offense is just super underwhelming. Corey Seager's awesome. Wyatt Langford's awesome. And you know what? I love Brandon Nimmo. I hope he has a great year out in Texas. But the guys behind him, I don't know what you can really count on. They were disappointing last year, and I expect them to kind of be disappointing again this year. 4th place. In 3rd place, I'm going with the Houston Astros. I am really out on the Astros this year. The more and more I look at this team, I can't get myself to believe. And maybe I'm trying to be a little bit ahead of the curve and saying that this is kind of the end of the empire. The Astros dynasty officially over in 2026. But just looking around this team, especially what made those dynasties so great was their pitching and their bullpen. I mean, they were just awesome teams, and I guess cheating as well. Hunter Brown's awesome. And you know what? Tatsuya Imai's awesome too. The other 3 pitchers I think are question marks, and more so Christian Javier and Lance McCullers. How many innings do you get out of those guys? I'm not sure. The bullpen without Josh Hader is really bad. Really, really, really bad. And the lineup, again, Jeremy Pena is probably going to be in there. It's a great infield. It's a really, really bad outfield, and you're hoping that guys like Christian Walker and Yainer Diaz bounce back, and I don't know if they will. So for me, Astros are in 3rd place. Also, does Yordan Alvarez play games this year? Like, what's his deal? He's got to be healthy. They should just be DHing him. That's it. If he plays 130 games, they'll make the playoffs. If he gets hurt, which he normally does, they're going to finish in 3rd. Okay, I told you it's going to get crazy. 2nd place, I have got the Sacramento Athletics. I believe I can call them that now. I think they're officially the Sacramento Athletics. Now, take away everything that I said about the rotation and bullpen and ignore it, because the A's play a different brand of baseball, and they're going to have to because they play in Sutter Health Park, and the only stadium that basically played similar to it in terms of park factor last year was Coors Field. So the pitching is going to be bad. Here's the difference. This lineup 1 to 9 legitimately absolutely rocks. Like, even Max Muncy and Denzel Clark being in the back end of this lineup, there's still exciting things there. Like, when Denzel Clark hits the baseball, he smokes it. You've got Mr. Kurtz, you got Shea Langler, Tyler Soderstrom, Brent Rooker, Jacob Wilson, Lawrence Butler, Jeff McNeil. I love this lineup. It's loaded. And I do think on the road, the pitchers will be able to be more successful. Like, Severino was great on the road last year. Jeffrey Springs gets outs. Luis Morales has some good stuff. Bullpen-wise, Elvis Alvarado's my boy, and Justin Sterner, and they have major league relievers. It's not going to matter in their ballpark, but they play 81 games elsewhere. I think this is going to be a good team. They finished the second half last year well above 500. I believe in Mark Kotsay. I believe in the A's. Got them finishing in 2nd place. And, of course, coming in 1st place, I've got the Seattle Mariners. They're one of the best teams in baseball. They're definitely the best team in this division. I think they're going to have a pretty comfortable lead over the A's. This is a 90-win ball club, in my opinion. In terms of the lineup, one of the best in baseball. You brought in Brendan Donovan. It's exactly what this roster needed. Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, Josh Naylor, Randy Arozarena. Love that top 5. And even the guys after them, I think, are capable major league players at the absolute worst. The rotation, while it's not deep, it's awesome. You've got George Kirby, Luis Castillo, Brian Wu, Logan Gilbert. Incredible. The bullpen's ridiculously good with Munoz and Matt Brash and Jose Ferrer and Bizardo and Spire. You saw how close they were to the World Series. I just want to see them be dogs this year and actually get there. Mariners 1st place in the AL West. Now on to the awards. I'm trying not to pick anybody who won an award last year. I just think that's boring. AL MVP, I'm going Mr. Nicholas Kurtz. If he does what he did over, 100 plus games last year, over a full season, he's just going to have a shot at the MVP. Obviously, Aaron Judge is the favorite. I'm not picking Aaron Judge. That's boring. That's not how I like to do this. Everything that Mr. Kurtz does leads us to believe it's repeatable, and if he repeats it, he's going to win the MVP. He's going to hit 50 home runs and drive in 160. Have 1,000 OPS. That's just the MVP right there. For the American League Cy Young, it's going to be tough to beat Tarek Skubal, but if there is one guy who can do it that I feel confident about, obviously it's Garrett Crochet. 200 plus innings last year. The stuff was ridiculous. Strikes everybody out. The Red Sox I've got winning the American League East. Big reason why Garrett Crochet leading that rotation. He's just so ridiculously good. The White Sox got a lot of value back for him, but the fact that the Red Sox just able to pick him off the White Sox, get an instant top 3 starter in Major League Baseball on their roster, it's pretty incredible. It's changed how this team looks. It changes how it feels, and Garrett Crochet truthfully has a chance to be the best pitcher in baseball by the end of the season. Lastly, we have the American League Rookie of the Year, and to me, this one's obvious. It's Kazuma Okamoto. I even made a bet that he's going to win the Rookie of the Year. I just see this lineup. I see where he's going to hit. I see the swing. I see the bat-to-ball skills. I know what David Popkins, their hitting coach, does. He's going to drive in 100 runs. He's going to hit 20 home runs. He's going to be a Rookie of the Year. This is a no-brainer. Kazuma Okamoto is going to be awesome in Toronto. He's my Rookie of the Year in the American League. All right, let's switch it on over to the National League. Get started in the NL East. 5th place, of course, Washington Nationals. Wow, woof. This team stinks. This team's horrible. Legitimately, outside of CJ Abrams and James Wood, I don't know if there's much to be excited about. I like Cade Cavalli. I don't know if you should be excited about him. I am because he's on all my fantasy teams, but like probably 5 exciting players are going to play on the Nationals this year. It's a really bad team. They're in a transition period. They're starting, I think, the rebuild again. I think there's even a chance that CJ Abrams could get traded this year for the right price. Nationals 5th place. They're not going to win many games. This team, top to bottom, is pretty horrible. James Wood, though, hope he steps up. Hope he takes a step forward. He's just so talented. In 4th place, I've got the Miami Marlins. Marlins had a really good season last year, and I don't think that they're going to regress too hard, but I do think that they are due for a little bit of regression, just in general. When you look up and down this lineup, especially without Kyle Stowers, who's going to miss a little bit of time, it seems like, on the IL, it's just not a great lineup. Again, it's very Rays coded, which makes sense because Peter Bendix came from the Rays. I like Marcy, I like Owen Casey, and Griffin Conines one of my breakout picks this year, but truthfully, you can't really slot anybody in to be a plus hitter this year in that lineup. I think you might get a lot of close to league average hitters. You might get some guys who do pop off, but I just don't see a world where this is a great offense, and I also just don't see a world where it's a particularly great starting rotation either. They're going to trade Sandy at some point. I think Yuri Perez is going to go off, but Max Meyer, Chris Paddock, Jansen, Junk, I just don't care. And the bullpen has arms, but similarly, I expect them to be traded off at points. The Marlins are not trying to win this year. They're looking to the future. They have some decent assets. Now it's about converting them into things that can help them further in their rebuild. And to be fair, they do have some good young players up the pipeline coming, especially on the pitching side. 3rd place, I think I said this last year, they finished in 4th, the Atlanta Braves. I wish I put my predictions out earlier because I would have looked really smart. Guess it's not really smart to predict injuries, but the whole reason why I've been a Braves hater, despite the fact that I'm obviously a huge Mets fan and the Braves ruined my first 18 years of my life, they have no depth. If something goes wrong, there's no way for them to fix it. And right now, things are going wrong. No Spencer Schwellenbach. Spencer Strider hit the IL. Their depth guys being like Hurston Waldrop got hurt. Smith Shawver's obviously out for the year. Even Joey Wentz, he tore a knee ligament early on in March. The fact that we just saw Reynaldo Lopez barely touching 90 in his last spring start, that's terrifying. Grant Holmes, his UCL is hanging on by a thread. Gonna get big innings out of Bryce Elder and Jose Suarez possibly. Carlos Carrasco, Martin Perez. The rotation's got no depth. I like their bullpen. I think their bullpen's great. Iglesias, Suarez, if you get to them in the 8th, they're winning the baseball game. That's how it goes. And of course, the lineup has good ball players. Ronald Acuna Jr. is going to pop off this year. Drake Baldwin is awesome. Matt Olson is awesome. Austin Riley, even after a couple rough seasons where he wasn't like elite, is awesome. Outside of that, I don't know what the rest of this lineup actually does production-wise. Mike Yastrzemski will probably be league average, but that's not really good enough. Ozzie Albies will probably be league average. Again, not really good enough. Michael Harris kind of forgot how to hit last year. I don't really have the most faith in him right now. And then Dom Smith and Mauricio Dubon are your other options. I mean, it's just, I'm telling you, this is really not that good of a team. This is the most overrated team in baseball. Braves in 3rd place. Coming in 2nd place, I've got the Philadelphia Phillies. I want to be honest. I think the Phillies and the Mets, they're going to be competing down to the wire for this National League East. I think it's going to be separated by about a game when it's all said and done. The Phillies are still a very good team. Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, all really good. Similarly, but to a lesser extent, the guys after them are a bit of question marks, but I still think they're all pretty decent major league players at the end of the day, especially over a 162 game season. Like, I don't like Alec Bowman, Bryson Stott. I don't think they're particularly good. And I think Adolis Garcia might be cooked, but I like them more than the options the Braves had after their hitters. I think there's past them being more productive. And then I just love their pitching. Their pitching staff is incredible. Christopher Sanchez, Aaron Nola, Luzardo, Taijuan Walker, Andrew Painter, and when Zach Wheeler gets back, which looks like it's kind of soon, Zach Wheeler, one of the best pitchers in baseball. Bullpen's loaded. Joan Duran, Jose Alvarado, Brad Keller, Tanner Banks. Really, really good arms out there. This Phillies team's really good. Just avoid the injury bug. That's their big thing. That's the big thing for everybody. One of the best teams in the National League. Because, of course, coming in 1st place, it's going to be my New York Mets. Now, before you get in the comment section, I have not been predicting the Mets for 1st place like for the last couple years. I just think that this team is better. I think this team's different. I think when you look up and down this lineup and roster, it's legitimately a good team. Like, even trying to take my Mets bias off, which also, I don't have to. It's my prediction video. I can do whatever I want. I can say whatever I want. And I think my favorite team is going to win the National League East this year. Francisco Lindor, awesome. Juan Soto, one of the best hitters in baseball. Bo Bichette, if he was on another team, I'm just telling you, you guys would love him. Jorge Polanco, he's not Pete Alonso, but he's going to hit well. Love the addition of Luis Robert. You know I love me some Lou Bob if you ever watch this channel. He is going to pop off as long as he stays healthy. Young guys, Beatty, Alvarez, Carson Bench, fantastic. Can Marcus Semien give us anything? I don't know, but he's going to play good defense. And then the pitching, getting Freddie Peralta to be that true ace in front of Nolan McLean. David Peterson, Clay Holmes, Kodai Senga, Shaman and Tobias Myers are in the bullpen because we got so much starting pitching. Jonah Tong, AAA, we don't have to worry about him right now. The bullpen scares me. Oh, the bullpen scares me. But there's a world where Devin Williams and Luke Weaver bounce back, and I'm living in that world. Mets win the National League East. It's by about a game, but they're winning it. For the National League Central, 5th place, St. Louis Cardinals. Put it simply, they're the worst team in the National League Central. It's not even close. This roster, top to bottom, it's going to be a tough watch. JJ Weatherholt is obviously one of my favorite players to watch on the Cardinals this season. Almost everybody else, I guess I like Ivan Herrera too. Almost everybody else on the offensive side I don't care about. I hope Jordan Walker can figure it out, but that doesn't look promising. The rotation is full of 5s, and I don't know how we get excited about that. And the bullpen has some exciting arms, like Riley O'Brien, like Matt Swanson, but I mean, they're just not going to be winning very often. So to me, yeah, the Cardinals are in 5th place. In 4th place, Cincinnati Reds. I know this team made the playoffs last year. Terry Francona is a phenomenal manager, Hall of Fame manager. I just don't think they did enough to really push themselves forward, especially because they kind of fell into the playoffs last year. Everybody kind of didn't play well, and then all of a sudden the Reds looked around and went, us? Some weird stuff going on with Chase Burns right now. Hunter Green's hurt. Who knows truthfully when he comes back, and if he doesn't, that's bad. Also missing half a year, bad for them. They need him. I think there's going to be Andrew Abbott regression. I don't think a rotation going into the season of Andrew Abbott, Nick Lodolo, Brady Singer, Rhett Lauder, and Chase Burns is good. The bullpen is fine. It's middle of the pack, and I think this lineup severely lacks punch. I love Ellie. I like Sal Stewart. I like Eugenio Suarez. Everybody else, I don't really know what you can expect. It's going to be like 10% worse than league average, 5% better than league average at best. And for me, that's just a 4th place team in this division right now, especially because of the Hunter Green injury. In 3rd place, I've got the Pittsburgh Pirates. My Pirates. I'm so in on the Pirates this year, and maybe it's for all the wrong reasons. But is this the year O'Neal Cruz comes and figures it out? Probably not, but I'm just going to keep saying it. It helps my agenda. Brandon Lau, love the addition. I think Brian Reynolds is actually going to bounce back big time this year. He's a good ball player. They've got a criminal playing DH, but I mean, he's a better hitter than what they've had. Ryan O'Hearn can mash. I like Jared Triolo a lot, which is a crazy sentence to say. Spencer Horwitz low-key mashed last year too when he came back. Rotation-wise, one of my favorite rotations in baseball. You got Paul Skeens, you got Bubba Chandler, you got my boy Carmen Majinski, you got Mitch Keller, you got Braxton Ashcraft, you might get Jared Jones back at some point. Electric arms. You don't want to run into them. The bullpen could be a nightmare, but also Mason Montgomery could just become one of the best left-handed relievers in baseball. Justin Lawrence looked awesome last year when he was not hurt. Dennis Santana just keeps getting outs. I'm a Pirates believer. I got them in 3rd place. Oh, and not to mention Connor Griffin. Connor Griffin's going to be the shortstop probably by April 10th, and I just think he's going to be incredible. Immediately a really good impact player. 2nd place, Milwaukee Brewers. The projection system similarly not showing a lot of love to the Brewers, and I understand around the edges this team doesn't look loaded, and when you get rid of arguably your best pitcher in a trade, it's hard to kind of convince people that this team is as good as they were last year. Jackson Chourio is a budding superstar. Bryce Terang is just really good. William Contreras, Christian Yelich, even Sal Frelick, I like those first 5. Very good ball players. Can they get any more out of Andrew Vaughn? Are they going to turn Luis Rengifo into a player? Garrett Mitchell, Joey Ortiz? Those questions, we'll find out. It's the Brewers. They probably will. And then on the pitching side, you got Miz, you got Brandon Woodruff, and then you got a bunch of young guys around that are just going to kind of figure it out because the Brewers always do. Bullpen's disgusting. Abner Uribe is one of my favorite closers in the entire game. Trevor McGill's incredible. Still a good baseball team. 2nd place. Because coming in 1st place, it's the Chicago Cubs. Chicago Cubs have a chance to win the most games in baseball this year. I just think that this Cubs team has such an incredibly high floor, and that's something that over a 162-game season really plays in their favor. You just go through this lineup, and I know the Seiya Suzuki injury does change things a little bit, but it's just good ball players. Michael Busch, Bregman, Ian Happ, Pete Crow Armstrong, Nico Horner, Carson Kelly, Mo Ballesteros, Dansby Swanson, probably hitting 9th. The rotation is lacking, again, in terms of oomph, but over 162, I think it's going to get you there, and Edward Cabrera could be that guy. Also, Justin Steele might come back at some point. Bullpen is improved, and Daniel Palencia is one of the most underrated relievers in baseball. I just like this Cubs team. I think they're a really safe pick, and I do think they are the best team in the National League Central. Final division, honestly, the easiest one I think to predict out of all of them. Last place, the Colorado Rockies. Whew, this team stinks. Shout out Paul DePodesta, though. He said that they're going to try and use Coors as a positive, not as a negative. I don't know how they do that, because the pitching that they have is, whew, it's bad. They might give up 2,000 runs this year. But I'm down to get creative because the Rockies have basically been smashing their head into a wall for the last 10, 15 years. It's not worked. Let's try something different. But yeah, there's just not a lot of talent there. I love Ezekiel Tovar. That's my dog. I hope he steps up and doesn't strike out 200 times this year. I hope we see Hunter Goodman continue to hit well. TJ Rumfield's getting some love around the league. Like, he apparently had an exciting spring. Again, I don't know how they don't give up 13 runs a game, especially with the rotation being Freeland, Michael Lorenzen, Jose Quintana, Tomoyuki Sugano, and Ryan Feltner. What? I like the bullpen arms if they were on another team, but they're not. So, yeah. I think the Rockies are in 5th place because they stink. 4th place in the division. It pains me. My Arizona Diamondbacks snakes up. I love the D-backs. I love the city. I love the fans. But this team's not good. And a big reason is that injuries have hurt them. And again, if they have any sort of injury to one of their star players, being Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll, or Geraldo Perdomo, it's over. Season's over. I just don't see a world where they were much better than they were last year, especially with so many question marks around the lineup and the rotation and the bullpen. Like, legitimately the worst rotation and bullpen combination in all of Major League Baseball. Their closer's Paul Sewald. He hasn't been good in years. Just a lot of nothing on this team, which is crazy because you have Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll, and Geraldo Perdomo. 3 of the most valuable players in the National League last year. It's the Bugatti in the trailer park. Like, it's just, here's a really nice thing surrounded by kind of nonsense. So, yeah, Diamondbacks 4th place. Hurts me. I really wanted to put them higher. Just can't do it. In 3rd place, I'll be honest, not too far ahead of the Diamondbacks. I've got the San Francisco Giants. I know I've been called the Giants hater, and this isn't going to help my case, but I don't think this team is particularly good. I don't think they're bad. Just don't think they're good. I don't think it's built like a smart baseball team right now. Chapman, Devers, awesome. No doubt about it. Love those guys. I think playing Luis Ariz at second base is going to be a disaster. Elliot Ramos in left field is a disaster. He can't play the position, and his hitting's not good enough to warrant how bad the defense is. Like Jung-Woo Lee, but we're still kind of figuring out where he is. Willy Adames is awesome. I don't know why their projected lineup doesn't have him being one of the first 4 hitters in the lineup right now. Harrison Bader was a good addition, but like Patrick Bailey and Will Brennan might be in this lineup like 3-4 times a week together. It's 2 automatic outs. Basically have a pitcher hitting in Patrick Bailey right now. Great defense, can't hit. The rotation, I like Logan Webb. Robbie Ray scares me. Everybody else I don't believe in. And the bullpen is, the bullpen's almost impossibly bad. So 3rd place might be nice, but I just don't think this is a playoff team. 2nd place, San Diego Padres. We've been talking about it a lot on the windup, but the Padres are one of the most fragile teams in all of baseball. Right now, their rotation going into the season is Nick Pivetta, Michael King, Randy Vasquez, German Marquez, Walker Buehler. 3 of those pitchers aren't good. 2 of them were non-roster invites. Michael King is coming off of a big injury last year. He gets hurt a bunch. Nick Pivetta pitched incredible last year. Is that legit? Joe Musgrove's already dealing with setbacks. Who knows what's going on with Yu Darvish? He probably can't pitch. Their bullpen is the best bullpen in baseball, and I think this lineup is really strong, but similarly, glass cannon. If something goes wrong, how do they fill in? They've got no farm system because they've traded everybody away. But Tatis, Merrill, Machado, just good enough to carry a team to being in 2nd place in this division, fighting for a playoff spot. Of course, coming in first, we've got the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're the best team in baseball. They're the best roster in baseball. There's no weakness on this team. I don't know, maybe their weakness is that they keep wanting to make Roki Sasaki work when it won't happen. The bullpen got even better adding Edwin Diaz. The lineup got even better adding Kyle Tucker. Mookie Betts didn't even play well last year, and they still were unbelievable. Shohei Ohtani is like not from this planet. Dodgers are winning this division, and they probably win it by like 10 plus games. They just have clearly run away with this thing. Now, for the National League Awards, NL MVP, again, not going to pick Shohei Ohtani. That's boring. So instead, I'm going with Ronald Acuna Jr. This might go against what I say in the playoffs, but I think Ronald Acuna Jr. is just going to steal 50 bases again, probably hit 40 home runs. As long as he stays healthy, he's my MVP pick. I'm betting it. I'm making those picks. He's so ridiculously good. And when he's even 90% healthy, he has the ability to be one of the best players in baseball. That's how talented he is. For the National League Cy Young, of course, Paul Skeens is the favorite. I want to pick Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens would be my option, but again, to not pick a duplicate, I'll take Christopher Sanchez. Just was really good last year, and it seems like he's built for the long haul. The stuff is ridiculously good. He just throws a ton of strikes, gets easy outs. It makes sense that if it's not Paul Skeens, it's probably the guy who finishes behind him, Christopher Sanchez. National League Rookie of the Year, sticking it in Pittsburgh, Connor Griffin. I know the Mets have 2 of the favorites right now, Nolan McLean and Carson Bench. JJ Weatherholt's another great pick, but I just think Connor Griffin is going to do some special stuff in Pittsburgh this year that you're going to have to make him the Rookie of the Year no no matter when he comes up. He could come up in June. I think that'd be stupid. I don't think they're going to do it, but I think he'll make that much of an impact that you have to make him in the Rookie of the Year. Doesn't matter how good Nolan McClain is. Doesn't matter how good Carson Bench is. It's going to be Connor Griffin. All right, let's talk about the playoff picture now. Starting off in the American League. The 1 seed, I've got the Detroit Tigers. 2, I've got the Mariners. 3, Red Sox. 4, Blue Jays. 5, Yankees. And then 6, my crazy pick's going to be the Sacramento Athletics. Yes, I think the A's are going to make the playoffs this year. I've held back on my crazy picks in the past, and then they ended up actually kind of coming through, so I'm going to put this on video now for evidence, and you can dog me in the comment section. I got the A's making it as the 6th seed, the last wild card team in the playoffs. Again, they finished the second half over 500. They played good baseball. This lineup's loaded. I believe in them. For the National League playoff picture, 1 seed, I've got the Cubs. 2 seed, I got the Dodgers. They don't care about the regular season. They don't need to be the 1. 3, I've got the Mets. Bad beat for the Mets because you're going to have to face the Dodgers if you make it to the next round. 4, I've got the Phillies. 5, I've got the Brewers. And 6, I've got my crazy pick, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yep, don't have the Braves making the playoffs again. 2nd straight season. I think the Pirates are going to surprise people this year. Them and the A's are going to be 2 of my favorite non-New York Mets teams to watch this season. I can't wait to see how chaotic and insane their years are. So yeah, Pirates, 6. Rotation, disgusting. Lineup, much improved. Think they could score some runs, and with that rotation, anything's possible. American League side of the playoffs, let's start off in the wild card. You've got the Red Sox going up against the A's, and as much as I love the A's, the Red Sox are much better. They're moving on. Second wild card matchup is between the Blue Jays and the Yankees, and as much as I'll be rooting for the 6 and rooting for the Jays, I do think the Yankees get the best of them here. I'm moving the Yankees on. ALDS matchups, you've got the Tigers going up against the New York Yankees. Yankees are great, but again, those bright lights get turned on, and something happens to their best players where they cannot perform. The Tigers are moving on. I'm all about the Tigers this year. Plus that rotation, I don't know if the Yankees are going to beat that, truthfully. And then the second ALDS matchup is between the Mariners and the Red Sox, and I love the Mariners, and I hope they do well, but I'm moving the Red Sox on. I think this Red Sox rotation, this bullpen, this lineup, it's just too much for Seattle, and they're going to end up going to the ALCS. Which means the ALCS matchup is going to be the Tigers versus the Red Sox, and truthfully, what a series this would be. I would love to see Detroit, Boston, ALCS, cold weather, October, Garrett Crochet, Derek Skubal going head-to-head in games, Framber Valdez going up against Ranger Suarez. I mean, these would be elite matchups. This would be sick baseball. But I've got the Tigers going on to the World Series. I think the Tigers, this is their year. This might be the last chance they have with Derek Skubal, and I do think that they go for it. I think that this team is primed and ready to make a run. I'm all in on the Detroit Tigers. On the National League side, first wild card matchup, Mets versus the Pirates. I'm picking the Mets. I'm sorry. I'm riding the Pirates hard this year, but I think the Mets will just be a better team than Pittsburgh, so I do have them moving on, even though, wow, you don't want to play the Pirates if they were to make the wild card. That rotation legitimately could be anybody in a 3-game series, without a doubt. Skeens, Bubba Chandler, and possibly Jared Jones or Mitch Keller or Braxton Ashcraft, yeah, don't want to see them. Next wildcard matchup is between the Phillies and the Brewers, and I do think the Phillies are going to move on. I just think they're a better team than the Brewers. I don't think the Brewers have enough punching power right now to beat a team like Philadelphia. For the NLDS matchups, unfortunate beat for the Mets. They have to go up against the Dodgers. You want to catch them in a shorter series than long, but not good enough to beat them. I got the Dodgers moving on to the NLCS again. And then I've got the Cubs going up against the Phillies. And the Phillies fall short once again, because they always do. That's what the Phillies are up to. Got the Chicago Cubs moving on to the NLCS. This team is built for a run. Which leads us to the NLCS. And I hate to do it. I want to believe somebody else is going to be there, but it's the Dodgers. The Dodgers team is built for the postseason. It is built for these runs. It is built to win games in October, and they're going to continue to do that. Dodgers are going back to the World Series again. It's boring. It's going to not help the lockout cause, whatever, but Dodgers are so good. I can't even really put on my Mets bias hat and say that the Mets would beat them, let alone think the Cubs are going to beat them. The Dodgers are the best team in baseball. They're the best team in the National League for sure, moving them to the World Series. Which means, drum roll please, your 2026 World Series champions, according to me, GiraffeNeckMarc, in 6 games will be going with the Detroit Tigers. Truthfully, I think the Tigers are going to win the World Series this year. I've been convincing myself for the last week, going over these predictions, thinking about the possible scenarios, and I just see a world where the Tigers are a World Series champion team. I love the lineup. I think Kevin McGonigal is going to be great. I think Riley Green's going to take a step forward. 1-9, great lineup, good defense, all the stuff you want in a good team. AJ Hinch, great manager, great bullpen, awesome starting rotation. And I can't pick the Dodgers to three-peat. At some point, they have to get tired. And I hope it's earlier in the season. I hope we don't see them in the World Series, even though it's low-key awesome for baseball because they're the villains. But I'm going against the chalk. That's boring. You've been on this channel. I picked the Mets for 100 times on here. This year, I'm going Detroit Tigers, 2026 World Series champions. I'd love to know what you guys think about my predictions down in the comments section below. Roast me, make fun of me, do what you gotta do. Just watch the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the baseball coming at you all year long. You can follow me on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc, links in the description. Big shout out to me. Hit 100K on Twitter the other day. Big milestone. You guys probably don't care, but I'm just gonna brag about it. And that's where I'll wrap up today's video. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Detroit Tigers World Series champions. You heard it here first. See you guys next time. Bye.